Joining me now to talk about the Obama-era holdovers in Washington, D.C. and why they need to go and why they're still there, former Department of Justice election attorney J. Christian Adams. Good evening, Christian. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay. Now, people ask me all the time. I give speeches all over the country, and people say to me, well, why are they still there? Why don't they just fire him? Obama fired all of the Bush people when he came in. Well, you were there. Give us an idea of what it's like and why it's not being done.
Well, because a lot of these people are deeply embedded. They've been at the Justice Department, for example, for 20, 30 years. They're very comfortable in their jobs. But, Judge, as you know, many of them are part of what's called the Senior Executive Service, SES. And these people can be moved out on Monday or told they have 3 weeks to pack their stuff up because they're going to go to Duluth, Minnesota to study snowfall. I mean, that's what the administration could do.
The administration can't be sued.
No, they're SES. They're at the top of the pyramid.
Okay, but
for a government
my viewers
employee.
don't know what SES means. I mean, Senior Executive Service, but that means even though you have a job, you can't be fired, but you can be moved.
Right.
Okay.
And they can be moved out of the swamp, out of Washington, to where it's really cold, and they might not want to move, and they might quit. A lot of good things can happen, but you can send these people that have been causing trouble.
Can we move to Guam?
Hey, Guam's a great place. I have a case there in U.S. federal court. But look, I love Guam. Let me tell you, there are people in the department that are causing the problem. For 8 years under Eric Holder, Judge, we didn't have voter fraud prosecutions. What happens when you don't prosecute?
We did not have voter fraud prosecutions for 8 years. Are you sure about that?
Right. I mean, we had people double voting. We had non-citizens voting. And people in the swamp refused to enforce the law. And what do you get more of when you refuse to enforce the law? You get more crime.
Right.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this. Aren't there cases that I remember last year reading about a county where there were more votes for a particular candidate than there were voters in the county, registered voters?
Yeah, this is a problem with the voter rolls all over the country. My organization's litigating right now against Broward County in federal court in the Southern District of Florida. But the Justice Department should be fixing this. There's a man there by the name of Richard Pilger. He's the head of the election crimes branch. Obama put him there. Holder put him there. He's the guy responsible for no voter fraud prosecutions for 8 years. There were double voters. There was a congressional candidate in Maryland. Her name was Wendy Rosen.
I remember
She voted twice for President Obama. She wasn't federally prosecuted. Federal laws being violated all around the country on election crimes, voter fraud.
So why are we paying these people if they're not doing the job?
Because nobody's asking the right questions. You are tonight. Why do people they're like the Maytag repairman, right? Richard Pilger was there for 8 years, didn't do anything. The problem was the system was broken, unlike the Maytag machine. The system was broken and he didn't do anything for 8 years.
Okay, so if they're not prosecuting, and they're in the Department of Justice, and we've got all of these illegalities going on, and nobody's prosecuting these cases, then shouldn't Jeff Sessions and, I have my own problems with him as it relates to Clinton, Loretta Lynch, everybody else, Uranium One, Molly 99, that's my new thing now, uranium's used for medical imaging, nuclear medicine. This is his bailiwick too?
Yeah, Sessions, I've said it on your show before, he's not the problem. But there are going to be people above people like Richard Pilger, people above other swamp creatures who don't want to do anything about the problem. I'm on the President's Voter Fraud Commission, and one of the things we're looking at is what do you do to stop voter fraud? Well, step one is you start prosecuting it. And he hasn't done it for 8 years.
Well, you know what? That is shocking. Richard Pilger, we're going to put him on Washington's Worst. We're going to get his picture up next time, along with Koskinen. And, the good news is Koskinen's gone. So there. Maybe we had something to do with it. Maybe not. J. Christian Adams, thanks for being with us.
Good night.
All right. Good night. And remember, in our second hour, we're going to take you live to Hanoi.